Is this what rock bottom looks like? Just in here hanging out under a toilet? Out on an adventure today, getting some new tank to bowl bolts or fasteners for the toilet. One of them has a leak, the one in the master bedroom. And I think those toilets have been in there for a good couple of years. And whoever installed them just put like a, well, some of the gaskets have gone bad, at least one that I found thus far. So I'm just gonna outfit it with new bolts and new packings or washers. But whoever built the house and put those toilets in there initially just put some silicone on there, and it's so dry. It's like some of them had turned to powder. And then the ones upstairs in the master bath I just pulled right off in one big piece. So I think what I'm gonna do is get some underwater, like plumber's putty, and put that over these once I get a good flush on the toilet. Throw that stuff on there and then test it out. But this place is called Paisarn Electronics. And if they ain't got it in here, I don't know what you're looking for. This place is humongous. It is a sprawling complex, probably bigger than Big C, and it's nothing but, I mean, it's electronics, it's lighting, it's garden accessories, it's plumbing, it's piping, it's hoses, it's everything you could imagine. This place is like, it's a mecca of DIY. Just so you guys can kind of see how long this place is. It isn't very wide of a shop, but it is super long. There's a ton of stuff in there. I got 2 solar lights for the for the side of the house. Wifey thinks that it's a lot more private on the side of the house than having our table in the front where it is right now. And we moved it out there because it's so dark on the side. So I got 2 really big wall mount LEDs that kind of mount onto an arm that'll come out over the side of the house over there, so it won't be pitch black, and I think it'll brighten the place up and make it a proper hangout space. But this place is a hidden gem. Well, it's not even hidden, I don't guess. But I went to Jerry's Hardware earlier. He's like, yeah, I don't have one of those little packings or gaskets for, you know, toilet. And I was like, well, I kind of wanted a set of them, just like 6 of these. And he's like, nah, I don't have them, but I do have the full set for the whole like flush mechanism. And I was like, well, I don't need all that. So he was like, well, I can give you a whole set for like $350. Buy it. And I was like, well, I'm not going to use the rest of the kit. I don't need to like gut the whole toilets for 6 bolts and their accompanying washers. So I came over here and they definitely had them, and they had like different sizes too. So some that were for like mounting sinks and stuff, and then some that are more geared towards toilets. And it's kind of a one-size-fits-all thing. So I hope they're universal enough to go on the Kohler or Kohler toilets that we have in the house. I think all 3 of our toilets are the same. But those things have just deteriorated over time. But I guess the house has been there for a couple of years, is what all the neighbors were saying. They were just like, we've been waiting on neighbors, so glad you guys are here. Hope you're cool. And they're all pretty cool. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna ease back into the house. Got to do some plumbing, and yeah, I think when we get our awning for our pump and filter system, we'll just have those guys mount the solar lights for us. And oh boy, it's a tight squeeze up in here. I'm going straight-ish. You can't really go straight. I'm going straight-ish. Yonder way. All right, anyway, I'm gonna get onto the house. We'll see ya. Bye. So I have just returned from Paisarn. I think wifey's pleased with this LED. So we got 2 of these. These were 800 baht a pop. And bam! There's all kinds of functions on the remote. I don't know what they do. I thought this would make it like 25% bright. Oh, it does. Look, dear. That's 25%. This is gonna be 50.
Oh.
This is gonna be, so it wasn't even all the way bright. 75. Oh, Lord mercy.
Lord mercy.
100. Bam! Like Jeebus coming back.
Whoa,
That's good.
That's good. That's good.
All right, I'm gonna leave it on 25. That's good. That'll probably be enough for like evening chilling.
Chilling, big shit.
And then I get with bird shit. Yeah, I guess you can set how many hours you want it to run. But with a full charge, I think the box says it'll just go for like 12 hours. Which is probably why you can just set auto here. And when it's dark, they come on, and when it ain't, it goes off. Bam. Cool. Well, I got 3 of these packs, one for each toilet, and then some of this Epo putty here. So I used something like this. I had a water leak in one of our cars in Okinawa, and it was like an evaporator coil had gone bad or something, and so it was causing like the air conditioning condensation, I guess, to run back into the cab of the car. I'm pretty sure this is the stuff I used to stop that leak, and it sealed that bad boy tighter than a Jimmy hat, I'll tell you what. And then I put some Gorilla adhesive on top of that, and it never leaked again. And I sold that car, and I showed the dude that I sold it to, and I was like, you know, it had an evaporator coil leak, but it's not gonna affect the roadworthiness of the car or your comfort. So here I am back at the house, and I'm about to try number 1 here, and hopefully these are, please dry it out in here. It was dry enough. When I pulled that one bolt out there, biggity bam, she started flowing. Yes, before you ask, I did turn the water off down there and flush it to purge it before I started gallivanting. But, all right, let me get to work on this thing. We got daylight burning here. What I was trying to think to show you earlier was like, this is the silicone that was around one of the bolts. And this is the other side. But I don't know if it's the guest bathroom up here or if it's the bathroom downstairs. I started touching that putty or caulk. I think it's just caulk. And it was like powder. It was like just moving around a bunch of powder. So I'm surprised the other toilets aren't leaking. So I got 3 sets of these. So hopefully I can change all 3 of these out. Now, back to work. So I think this is a superior product. It's snug enough that I think it's going to seal right up. And 2, like the slot for where the flathead would go, doesn't span the entire head of the bolt, if you know what I'm saying. So like the other one did. Because I was shredding that thing trying to get it out. I don't want to over tighten these. Alright, try to get this other one out now. This one's going to be a pain in the rear. I'm trying not to shred it. Try to loosen it up here. Of course, there's no room to play with this thing up here. I'm kind of debating on swapping out the full kit, and I should probably have something a little more proper than the needle nose, but I'll touch base with you here in a bit. All right, so where we're at right now is I've got 2 bolts replaced, I've got the supply line hooked back up, And then I even tightened these anchors down here on the bottom of the toilet because they were about loose as a goose. So I'm not going to turn back on the supply line. I think that would be foolish at this point. What I am going to do is put some water in the tank and see if those bolts leak. If they don't, I'd say we're good-ish. If they leak just a little, what I might do is dry the reservoir back out, tighten them up the best I can, and then throw a little bit of this putty on them to see what that helps out with. But as I punched through that bolt on the left, this came out of the bottom of the hole, or you could tell it was like the screw was kind of threaded through this, which makes me feel like it's going to leak because few things are done properly here in Thailand. And I don't say that as like a demeaning kind of thing or anything like that, but stateside, I don't think we would just throw all kinds of caulk around these tank to bowl bolts. I don't think silicone is the way you do that. I think some kind of a specialized putty maybe, but I don't think just caulk is the way to go. And that's probably why the ones downstairs are all disintegrated too. But those aren't leaking, so I don't know. I'm gonna dump this water in and see what happens real quick. And this one over here, if you can see that, was a doozy to get to with that supply line in the way. So I just popped it off. And, you know, before I even started unscrewing that, I was like, you know, my luck, that thing is just going to disintegrate. Because like I said, I think the house has been just marinating for 3 years before we moved in. So, all right, let's leak check this bad boy. All right, so this one over here on the right side, she's drier than a popcorn fart. But this one on this side, I keep tightening up just a little bit more and a little bit more every time, but I'm probably going through way too much TP. But I feel like it's still leaking. You can tell how the TP is taking on water. Oh, well now it's not. All right, so we might be good. So if I can get this to not pull any more water out of that seam right there where the tank meets the bowl, then I think the next level for Plumber shooting this bad boy is to turn on the supply line and see what happens. All right, I'm pretty pleased. So maybe we don't need any putty in there. Maybe we just roll without. If we've got anything going for us, a good thing about the plumbing in Thailand is that every bathroom has a drain on the floor pretty close to the toilet. So you got a drain here. And then you also have this little partition here. But you also got a drain there in the shower. So, all right, if I can make sure this is dry, I'm gonna turn on the supply line and let her rip. Let's see where we're at. I'm hoping it's not much worse though. All right, fingers crossed, here goes the supply line. I just barely cracked it. I think we're good. Oh boy, howdy. And if you can see this other gasket, you can see how bad it was worn out. It looked like it was complete, and I was like, well, hell, the one that's leaking doesn't even look bad because it looks like it was completely intact from looking at it from the top side. But the other one I could definitely tell was perforated. It was coming apart. So. Right, and I don't see any more flows coming out of this thing. Have I got plumber sag going on? Can y'all see my full moon? I think we're good. Open it up a little bit more. You're probably thinking, Lance, just let it rip and turn that thing on wide open. So I mean, after seeing that this works with just putting new bolts on it and new wing nuts, I think those are called wing nuts because they actually got a little grip to them, and new gaskets. If that's the fix, does that tell you that the silicone was just one of those like temporary, like, let's see how far we can limp this thing down the road kind of fixes? I think it was. I'm also starting to see a little water drippage on this right one. But I also can't tell if that's running down from the back, and maybe it's just the other one still leaking. Well, rat ass. Fill her up. Maybe not all the way. Let's do some more troubleshooting. So at this point, I think we're good in here. And I'm hoping that was just a little residual water that was kind of stuck in the middle there. That was running down the right side. Residual. If you ever flown in a CH-53, you'll know that they leak a lot of hydraulic fluid. And the crew chiefs will tell you, oh, it's just a little residual. But hydraulic fluid in an aircraft is kind of like blood, right? Like you want to keep that stuff in there. I think we're good. Now, do I want to do the other 2 toilets today or tackle that mañana? It really didn't take that long once I had the parts, but I went over to Jerry's Hardware and the guy didn't have them. And he was like, well, I got a full kit. And I was like, well, I don't quite need a full kit. I don't want to get this thing. But yeah. You ever been up under your sink? Let's see what it looks like. It's all just concrete, and then your sink goes in there. I think I just ate some concrete. You gotta be careful messing around in Thailand with this plumbing. Touch something and it just disintegrates, and then you damn flooded the house out or something. So she's temperamental. I think we're good though. No flows right here. It's dry. Is it right around the back? Very slightly. But I think it's just from, no, I can feel some right there. Yeah. What are we gonna do about this? Now you could say, oh, I'll just put some of that epoxy stuff, that putty around the bottom, but water shouldn't be getting to here anyway. It should stop on this side. But it's running the red light, if you will. And it's coming out down here. This is just finger tight. Like there's not a good way to, it's that German torque. It's good and tight. I don't think I can tighten that anymore. Is there any daylight between this and on the front side? There is. Should there be? I don't know. I'm no plumber. I'm a pretty good janitor though. I can clean some shit up now. Very, very slow trickle. Oh my God. Is this what rock bottom looks like? Just in here hanging out under a toilet. I torqued it a little bit more. It's not wet. We'll give her a few minutes again. Every time I feel that water, it feels like I can tighten her up just a little bit. But how long can you finger tighten before this? It's porcelain breaks. That is porcelain, right? I know why they call it the porcelain god. You pray to it when you drink too much. Silly kids. I think we're good. It's like in the Marine Corps, just keep touching it till it breaks. Ugh. Let's see what this side's doing. She dry. She ain't leaking. Man, we good. I ain't puttying that bad boy. That's a cheat anyway, ain't it? Hell yeah. Alright. That's how you fix a leaky toilet right there. We'll save this for another project, I reckon. Maybe put this around the solar lights once we mount them outside, so you don't get any moisture between the wall and the mount, maybe. Maybe not. Alright, let me get this cleaned up. I need to wash that towel anyway. If you're wondering why we have bottles of water in the shower, it's like, do you guys not have running water either? We do. That's the blessed water from the house blessing. So we got a few bottles of it. Keep that evil away. Put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. We're looking good. She's dry. And she dry. That's a good toilet right there, Paw Paw. Get all these tools up before my wife gets mad at me. But look at this, like, what was that gonna stop? It's caulk. Like you put caulking inside it was underwater. Caulk don't go underwater. Caulk don't go underwater. Maybe it's like a putty. I think it's just caulk though. Later. Alright, so we're downstairs now. I want to show y'all what this one looks like. Let me take this lid off without breaking it. So look how dried up. Make sure we ain't leaking first before I start touching anything. Not leaking this side. Not leaking this side, so I'm gonna leave them alone for right now. But this stuff just, it's like powder on the bottom of the tank. I'm just moving it around with my finger. That's just all dark and goopy. It's disgusting. But it's all just, ew. Ew, it's like a powdery jelly. Eventually it'll all wash through there, but that ain't good. Get all that mess out of there. Just leave it. Well, this one ain't leaking. Ain't leaking yet, and I got 2 more packs of those bolts. So I think I'm just gonna put those in the surplus. The rain showers are working really, really good. Our drain upstairs in the master was really slow. Got some bugs in here, but it was really slow. And so I found out this one was, the one that was in it was too long. And so I swapped it with the one that was in the drain near the toilet upstairs. And now it drains a lot faster, so yeah. But you gotta keep these damp. Oh, they dry out and you'll get this, see there's water in that. Okay, we're good. They dry out and they'll let that sewer smell back in the house. Oh man, plumbing in Thailand. Should I get a job as a plumber? I always feel like my wife's right behind me making fun of me. They're standing there with their arms crossed looking at me like I forgot a chore or something. Anyway, I got back on my learning routine. This is Thai dialogue listening practice from Banana Thai. And I had a few of their older books from Crew Smook. I had exercise 1 and exercise 2, and I did those both back in Okinawa. This was a good book too. Just helps you out figuring out what kind of class your consonants are and get you reading. And I was feeling bad because I can read street signs pretty well now and menus and things of that nature. But then like sometimes you realize like, well, I never took the time to, do I even know all of the 44 consonants and 11 vowels right now? Could I pick them off of a ko gai, ko kai, ko quat, all that good jazz? You know, I'm fairly good at that, but I want to put like maybe I shouldn't put it on these pretty walls on the wallpaper, but like the Thai alphabet, print that off, the Thai days of the week, the months, and just so it's like readily available. In the Marine Corps, we used to put stuff on the mirrors in the head or the toilet, and every time you go in there, you'd see it, and so you'd kind of memorize whatever you needed to know, like if you were going through a course or something. Put little mnemonics to it and stuff. Kind of like the days of the week, right? Like Wan, Jan, Put, Parahat, Suk, Sao, Atit. Wan, Jan, Put, Parahat, Suk, Sao, Atit. That's your days of the week. Months are a little bit harder because there's 12 of them if you didn't know. Yeah, I'm just kind of meandering about the house right now looking for a project. It's it's Wednesday at 5:35, so it's beer 30. But I've been messing with that toilet up there and kind of road tripping around. That electronics shop is amazing. Definitely going back there. They had some speakers, but and we are in the market for a new Bluetooth speaker. But they had some like off-brand stuff, which I didn't really want. But they had a lot of tents and camping gear and just all kinds of garden stuff. I was looking for wifey some little stand-up solar LED lights to go in the Japanese garden out here, but they didn't have anything. They had like some little lantern-looking things, but not what we were after. And this is her little Japanese garden out here. Kind of reminds us of Okinawa. She's been out there watering the concrete in her pajamas, obviously. But the bird poop in the back is a problem. She's worried that we can't sit out there and enjoy a meal because like a pigeon turd's going to roll off the roof and right into our koitiao or our mukata. And it's not as bad in the front. So we're thinking that maybe if we keep it lit up on the side and part of the back, it won't be so bad because maybe that drives them away at night. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So if you remember about a year back when I first moved here, or when we first moved here, if you've been following the channel that long, one of the first things we had to do after getting here was go pay our road tax in the city for the vehicle. Well, it's come time to do that again. We have to do it every August. And someone lost their paperwork for doing such, and had to call her car sales lady, the one that took us on a tour of the Toyota lot a while back, because evidently she knows more about our documentation than a thing that we own. So and we just moved and had 2 wild Thai women helping us move houses, so that didn't help with the organization either, but that's another story, I guess. But anyway, we might venture out. We need to go pay that today, or is there just any time in August?
As soon as you can.
as soon as we can. So we may go pay that today. We might go pay it tomorrow.
On 2nd August.
What's today, the 2nd?
3rd.
Today's the 3rd.
Yeah.
It expired on the 2nd of August, and today's the 3rd. So
Thai people, they don't care.
Thai people don't care, really.
Month,
So everyone's on Thai time.
month to month.
So when my visa expires, I don't have to go do it on time. I can wait a day or two.
Yes.
You're right. Never listen to your Thai wife. I mean, on 90% of things, listen to her. But visa, road taxes, evidently one of those things you can kind of waive and do it a couple days late. But I reckon we'll go do that today. And that's just up the road on Mitapup, Route 2, pretty close to the mall. It's actually across from Bangkok Hospital, Ratchasima. I like it.
Copy ให้พี่หน่อย
Oh, you need to make both pages? Front and back?
One of each,
One of each? 2 separate pages or front and back?
2 separate.
Not like immigration?
No, sir.
See y'all.
Probably better than what we need,
Well,
but I'd rather have here get something.
in outside news today, let's see what's happening. Inside of the house is done. I don't want to mess with anything else in there anymore. Moved our table around to the side. There's a lot better. There's a decent breeze right here at night, but a really good one like all day long in the front. And I took the umbrella off, and it's under the carport right now. Garden is doing well. I ordered some reflective tape on Lazada, and it must have come from Timbuktu because it took quite a while to get here. Came from somewhere in China. And I thought it was going to be adhesive, and it's not. So what I did was pair it with a few of these I did with dental floss and some tape to make it kind of twirl, spook away all the pigeons. And I think it's actually working as far as them staying off the ledges and out of the windows there. I don't know if these need full sun all day, but avocado, rambuchans, and those are that's a basil in the middle, but those are some little Taiwan oranges that are growing there. Taking the tops off a few of these to kind of, when I spray it at night, all of it drains off into there. But I think this is doing good for keeping them out of the windows. But what it's not doing is keeping them off the roof, so you can still tell we've got quite a bit of bird crap back here. We gotta find some kind of spray or something, some way to get that up on the... That is probably a good mosquito breeding ground. I need to probably do something with that. Treat that with something. It usually doesn't have standing water in it like that, but it's running from somewhere. Anyway, I had a dude come over from the camp earlier and take some final measurements. We're gonna get a covering for the salt tank here, the filter, and the pump, just so those aren't out in the weather all the time. And this system here was probably, well, it was probably $800 anyway. I'll have to go and figure out how much that was. I think it was like 29,000 baht. Anyway, 4 legs and then like an awning over the top, slanted coming this way because you don't want drainage water to go off on the neighbor's lawn. So that'll get you in trouble. But anyway, it'll shade the pump here and all the wiring too, because I don't want that just baking in the sun all day. Well, it's not closing. Closed now. But they say if it gets real breezy, this will blow off. And when it does its occasional self-cleaning, the top of this will actually kind of rotate and you'll get some drainage coming out of it. So this needs to kind of freely move about, but not so much that it'll blow away. So it'll have walls on the side of it, and then a roof over the top. It'll be open on the bottom because I told them that we spray it to clean it out. But, yeah. And that is what's happening outside. And this awning over the car park is money. Love this thing. We've got parked the car. We've still got room to open up the door, and then plenty of room in the front too. So this kind of doubles as a workout space some mornings. Pretty good. We actually got us a garbage can. I'm thinking we might need a slightly bigger one, but that's all right. I guess we can get another one if we need. The housing development was supposed to deliver us one at some point, but I think what they deliver is either the same can or it may be one of a slightly lesser quality. Some of these cans in the neighborhood aren't doing too well, so we went ahead and bought one while we were out at either Index or Home Pro. I guess we got that at Home Pro. About like everything else. So exciting stuff. Tick got in here and kind of redesigned the setup once we got settled. Furniture that we were waiting on, I think we had all of this in the last video. Table came, bar's looking good. I think all we were waiting on was the sofa up in the loft. But the office is looking better. Looking mildly professional, and I just moved all the weights over here so that's not the first thing you see when you look down the hallway. And I still need to do a run through and break it out room by room. So our couch came from up here in the loft. This is when we get down on the table downstairs outside at night, this is usually where we retreat to. If we're not downstairs watching TV. I hung that tape in just about every window. So it's keeping them off these ledges. But these pigeons, man, they congregate on the roof. And then all that crap just kind of rolls downhill. Cool. Yeah, wife's got a little, what do you call it? I guess you'd call it a portfolio. But it's got room by room what all they did. And I'm pretty sure anyway that it breaks that out room by room. Because I think that'll be the best way to do the video, is room by room and what we did and how much it cost. So the most extensive build would have definitely been here in the kitchen. So if you go back and look at one of those initial videos, I'm talking about how the plumbing is outside of this wall and doesn't even come into the house. And I think that's because most people put a washing machine outside and do all the cooking out there too. But that's not the kind of house that we wanted, because we had to bring plumbing in for the washer, dishwasher, sink. And the level of build that went into this is obviously it's full of stuff now, won't look as good, but the quality over here is leagues ahead of what we had in the other house. And I mean, the other house was just like stick the small pipe in the bigger pipe and then maybe put a little silicone around it, maybe don't, and then water just dumps all throughout the bottom of the cabinetry, and it pretty much ruined our cabinets over there. It was a nightmare. It was a lot more affordable, but I had to go back and fix a ton of stuff. And over here, I mean, this was just really, really well done. The range in here, Tick's been cooking, and over in the other house, the smell would linger for days, because when they put the range in, they didn't actually put any kind of exhaust for it. So it just sucked the cooking air in and then blew it right out the top into the ceiling. and then so it just kind of accumulated, and you would smell whatever we cooked. Cook a pad kapow back there and you smell it for a week. But here, Tick will cook straight up spicy Thai dishes on this and have that thing running, and we won't smell it the next day. She was in here cooking yesterday and I can't smell a thing. It's clean. Everything is, man, it's good. It's everything we wanted. The bar is awesome. They only had one of these at Index when we went, so we took the display model, and then when the other comes in, we'll have to run and pick it up. And I was like, they won't just deliver because it was their shortage and not ours. Dick was like, stop. Like, you're trying to nickel and dime them too much. So we'll go back to Index and pick this up when it comes in. I guess they had to make it. And they may not even make it in Thailand. I don't know where it comes from. But the couch upstairs, I'm pointing the camera like you can actually see through the ceiling. The couch upstairs is actually made in Thailand, and I imagine a good bit of this stuff is. But yeah. Cool. I get out of your hair. Take you along wherever we're headed. Well, Tick's got some plants outside that are growing, and I think they're getting too big for their pots. But Sister New Hen and her mom are at the same garden that we went to the other day. And they're like, we can get you some new ones while we're here. I said, stop. Before you do that, measure these. So the potting mix that I used when I did the plants on the side of the house, the avocado, rambuchans, and the little orange trees, that was like a potting mix that's got all kinds of stuff in it. Lots of coconut shells, lots of cool biodegradable things, but it was a good mix. I had my doubts about just putting seeds in that. Yeah, it all worked out. Things are growing, so yeah. No, we're not getting the awning built today. That'll be another day. I think I was just buying supplies today, so we can at least go pay the road tax. Yeah, so drive-through service is what we do here for a new-ish vehicle. And then otherwise you got to get a full-blown inspection done. Horns, wipers, blinkers, seat belts, engine check, smog check. Do they do a smog check?
Yeah. Everything, I think.
It surprises me that they do a smog check and then you see all the smoky diesels out on the road. But yep. Maybe that's for like 100 baht extra you can get out of the smog test. I don't know. I think it's going to be like 5,000 baht for our car. And I think that is based on the age of the vehicle and also the make and model. So probably closely related to like sticker price that you paid when you bought the car. Well, that was a pretty quick, uneventful outing. Once we got back on the line and then got up to the window, you hand them the paperwork and then they tell you what you owe, and it was damn near 6,000 baht. So hopefully 180. Is that about right? Say estimate to 30 times. Yeah, about 180. But we're good now, so we got a new sticker that I've got to put on at some point, and then repot some plants later. We may go out for some late lunch later. Again, I had a huge breakfast, and I feel like I'm kind of bloated from that. Probably shouldn't have had so much.